here on the program Jones and Company in the final segment of our program. We promised to talk just a little bit, Mr. Pintard, about BAMSI. You went to Tuskegee. I think your degree was as an agricultural economist.
I studied agriculture at the College of the Bahamas, did an associate in general agriculture. At Tuskegee was plant and soil science, and in Canada, agricultural economics.
Okay, very good. You must be impressed with what the government is seeking to achieve with BAMSI.
No, I'm only impressed with any government that is committed to food security. In terms of the configuration of BAMSI and the leadership of the Progressive Liberal Party in the program, I think that they have, up to this point, the government has performed terribly in terms of its execution of BAMSI. There is a huge gap between the vision for BAMSI, as I've heard it articulated by the technicians or those who conceptualize it, such as Dr. Eneas, and the execution of BAMSI, as I've heard it articulated by the minister with responsibility for agriculture, the prime minister. I think there's a huge gap between vision and what we have on the ground.
But when I went to Andros, I saw the enthusiasm of the people who were working on the farm. I saw the output, tremendous amount of bananas and papayas and all the rest of it. I'm talking about what they have in the farm and what they are seeking to achieve in terms of helping Bahamians to become secure in terms of food production. That in itself must be impressive.
I fundamentally disagree with the manner in which the Progressive Liberal Party is pursuing what is a noble objective of food security. And I'll give you several reasons
the
why.
objective is noble, you say?
Oh, without question, food security, successive administration.
No, the BAMSI project.
No, I'm saying to you, my understanding, as articulated by the Minister of Agriculture, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the persons who control the purse, their vision, there's a gap between that vision and their execution. Let me give several examples. Today, let me cut you off. Let me finish the point. The population of the Bahamas today does not know what the original intent is of BAMSI. The business plan is not known. If you took,
you don't know it?
Listen, if you took in the Parliament of the Bahamas, if you took each member of Parliament and put them in a separate room and asked them to articulate what is the vision of BAMSI, you would have a challenge. What is the marketing plan? To what extent is BAMSI competing with commercial farmers? They would stumble in terms of explaining the distinction.
Okay, let's hear from Dr.
Mr. Pintard, if I remember correctly, you were a consultant at the Ministry of Agriculture in the last F&M government.
That is correct.
Right? Do you know what the Christie government inherited? The Christie government inherited a collapsed agricultural sector on your watch. A collapsed sector. In 1978, Mr. Pintard, there were 89,000 acres of land in production, employing close to 10,000 people with 4,200 plus farmers. In 2012, there was less than 10,000 acres in production. I've shown you the figures. That happened on your watch. I don't want to be political on this program. Yeah, statistics don't lie.
Yeah, well, in fact,
no, statistics don't lie, Mr.
But let's have a conversation because we can have a conversation so that you do not make the PLP's case.
Let me finish. Statistics don't lie, right? There were less than 10,000 acres, less than 1,000 farmers, right? And agriculture's contribution to the GDP was less than 1%. Right now, and we had a food import bill of over $1 billion. It's now $1.1 billion.
Okay.
That's what this government inherited.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, it inherited from the F&M.
I don't know.
From the F&M and from past PLP administration.
I am a professional agriculturalist, right?
Yes.
I practice my craft.
I know, and you're speaking about your baby, so I know how emotional you can get talking about your baby.
No, this isn't emotion. This is not emotion.
But stick a pin every now and again to allow me to have an emotion.
No, this is not emotion, right? Yes. I am addressing statistics which I believe you don't know, right? Because if you knew the statistics, right? I heard your argument. If you knew the statistics, you wouldn't have left in place what y'all did.
I've heard your argument before.
Now, right? We are trying to meet the global standards as determined by the Sustainable Development Goals, 17, of which 3 are connected to agriculture. And 2 of the most important ones are poverty eradication and hunger and malnutrition, right?
What I don't want is the information that Bahamas Information Services can provide, and the forum that Mr. Eneas can have to provide that. I don't want this this small segment to be dominated by an entire speech.
Good. But
what I want is a discussion.
Answer Mr. Eneas's assertion that that the FNM government left the sector in a state of collapse, the agricultural sector.
I would say to Mr. Eneas the same thing that the Attorney General is accustomed to saying. It's amazing to me that Mr. Eneas seemed to have missed the point that the Progressive Liberal Party has been in power a part of this last 20 years, and they were in power prior to the Free National Movement being elected in 1992. In 1980, as a student in high school, we were importing 80% of our food.
That's not true.
80%. I made the decision to study agriculture on the basis of the figures in 1980.
Not 80%.
So go back and check the figures. So what Mr. Eneas is saying, if he wants to look at narrow statistics, he could certainly talk about the state of the agriculture sector when we were in power. But if he were to look more broadly, I'm saying under successive administrations, we have not done a good job in terms of food security. It has not happened under the PLP or under the FNM.
Yeah, but so isn't BAMSI a noble effort to fix that?
To rectify the situation?
And here's what the PLP wants. What the PLP wants is a blank check of $100 million.
That is not, that's wrong again.
Allow me,
that's wrong
go back and do the literature review.
No, that is wrong.
Permit me to complete the point.
Pintard, that is wrong.
The government of the Bahamas, the government of the Bahamas.
What the Prime Minister said.
I heard the Prime Minister.
I heard the Prime Minister. I was present. What the Prime Minister said, he has $100 million for Andros.
Let me
of which 20 or 25 million was for the construction of BAMSI. Another 35 million was for infrastructure. Right?
I would find that acceptable, except I do recall vividly the minister with responsibility for agriculture, when questioned on how much money. Permit me to finish. Permit me to finish. The minister with responsibility for agriculture, when questioned about the 100 million, made the point that at least 50 million had already been expended on the project.
He misspoke. Now you know he misspoke. You admitted. You knew that he misspoke. The Minister of Agriculture misspoke on that. Let's go to something else. Yeah, let's move on.
Here's the Free National Movement's concern about BAMSI, and maybe Mr. Eneas can answer the following: how much money is being allocated for the macro development of BAMSI? One.
Let him answer that now. How much money?
No. I want to throw the questions because when Mr. Eneas speaks, he's going to speak long on them, right? Secondly, why wasn't the School of Agriculture, from the beginning, developed as an extension of the College of the Bahamas rather than put in place the Memorandum of Understanding after the fact? Why was the School of Agriculture not made central in BAMSI? Thirdly, what is the distinction? Why is BAMSI, for example, why is there a clear impression that it is competing with commercial farmers as opposed to strengthening the extension services so that you can service the farming community?
Let's take those three. Just those three, and let's move on. You want to answer them?
No, he can answer some of them too. Let me
answer them.
Let me tell you. The College of Bahamas is a liberal arts institution. Liberal arts. The Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute is science and technology based. All right? You hear about UWI? You hear about UTEC?
Spoken there.
You hear about UTEC? You hear about UTEC?
And UTEC is a part of UWI.
No, UTEC is independent.
Of UWI?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it has a different academic orientation. All right? That's the difference.
Okay.
BAMSI is not solely an academic institution. BAMSI has 4 components, Mr. Pintard.
Yes,
and this is what I criticize you personally for, because you being an agriculturalist, you've never asked me to explain to you what the institute is about.
Okay.
We got to move on. I've heard your presentations on multiple occasions.
We have to move on.
Mr. You yourself is not pleased with the way the government is administering BAMSI.
Yeah.
And so I'm very clear on that. And so we share the concern about the administration by the Progressive Liberal Party.
From time to time, there seems to be an implosion of your party. You're split right down the middle. 5 MPs are not supporting Dr. Eneas in the House. And they had planned a coup that many people know about. And Dr. Eneas, he was able to ward that off by bringing into the party 2 representatives who were originally there with the PLP. Give the public an update on this and allay any fears that there is a major split in your organization.
Both major parties at this time, Mr. Jones, are having camps established.
Mr. Pintard, let's deal with the FNM.
I am, and in fact,
run out of time,
it's difficult to talk about the FNM without reference to the PLP. So I'm saying, much like the PLP, we have differences of opinion internally. Those are differences of opinion that we are working through. I'm confident at the end of the day that we are going to articulate one vision, and that our interests will be aligned. So I don't have a tremendous amount of concern about us being able to de-escalate some of the discussions.
And there's some irreconcilable differences in the organization right now. There's a view that, the 2 parties really cannot come together. That Dr. Eneas and Loretta Butler Turner, for instance, would never see eye to eye on leadership. You have some MPs who are diametrically opposed to Dr. Eneas, and they do not believe that Dr. Eneas has the capacity to lead the organization. Do you believe that he has the capacity?
I mean, clearly, I believe he is leading. He's leading the organization. I am the chairman.
To your satisfaction?
Dr. Eneas is doing a commendable job, in my estimation, as leader of the opposition at this time.
Well, why do you think you have this great friction in the organization?
And I believe that the team that is coalescing around the leader, inclusive of Loretta Butler Turner, who just recently in the press clearly indicated that she's accepted the results of the convention, and that she is doing nothing in her estimation to undermine the leader, and she supports the leader.
Well, why do you need another convention for an election for leadership? You had one last in 2014, the latter part. Why do you need another one?
The Constitution of the Free National Movement indicates that a convention ought to be held no later than November of this year. And so if the council of the party agrees to hold it next month, month after next, it is within the right of the council, or they can let it run until November.
And you'll have another election for leader?
You'll have election. All positions will be available.
Okay.
But I'm confident that the differences that exist now, that the men and women in the organization love this population so much that they will not permit differences between them or even personal ambition to trump what is in the best interest of our people.
Okay.
And that's what I work on day in and day out to make sure that we coalesce.
Well, we wish we had more time. Every time you come here, we run out of time, and we have so many other questions for you.
Food security is an important issue.
Yes, I know. And you two got to get together and sort that situation.
Which is to replace the government that's hampering his dream.
All right.
Babsy.
All right. Thank you very much for being here today.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Godfrey. And thank you for watching and listening to our program. Good evening, everyone.